Okay, in this video help, we're going to be using the navigation menu again. We're going to cover the balance of the buttons and links to the different screens that are shown in this group here. So let's get started. List. We click on that and it takes us into this particular one. Now we talked about this one earlier. I'm just going to re-go through it again. Restaurant meal list status. And basically these are the items that you're statusing on the portal in the meal orders. And like we said before, by clicking add, you can add a new one, edit it up here. If you want to edit one down here, you can click, and that item that is available, you can change as you click the edit button or tap on it. It'll bring that up so you can edit it up in this field and using the keyboard to make changes that you need. And it's saved as you add the information, it will be saved. And I'll re-emphasize, when you're changing any of these lists, when you're initially setting up the application, you can always add new stuff to it. But once you start using these, do not change them, because it will affect data that you've already added to the application. So if you change something, like saying add to, and change it to something else other than order, it's going to affect the people that are using this, because they're not going to know what to do when they don't see add to order. So when you're training people, you need to have the same information that's available. So it's best to set each one of these lists up that we're looking at as you will want to use them, and then eventually, if you need to, you can add more items, but don't take away from the items once you've set up your proper screens on the initial view. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next one, which is the tax rate list. Now the tax rates should say, they might stay a little bit close. I leave one in there with 00. For example, if you have something in and you don't want to add or change it and you just want to make it 0, you can always put in a 0 tax rate, and the tax rate that you would put in with zeros obviously is not going to calculate it to anything. Now you can type in more than the actual 3 character range in here. So if I went up here and typed in something, I'm still able to put more information in there by using the keyboard. And you do have a decimal point in here you can use if you need it. And in this particular case, you can actually do math in here, but you don't need to. That's not necessary, because all you're doing is adding information. So for example, if I had 5.345% and maybe an extra digit in there, you could put all the digits that are required for the actual tax organization that you're using. It may go out to 4 places, but it'll round up, and it'll be rounded up, but it'll actually use the actual numerics that you put in there for the actual tax. So that should be no problem if you do add a 4th position. Okay, let's say again that once you put stuff in here and you're using it, you should not change it. You can always add something new. Like in the state of California, it seems like every time I turn around, somebody's saying, hey, they just changed the tax again, and how did I do that? You can leave the existing tax in and create a new line in there, so that when you use the drop-down list, you can pick the one that's appropriate for this time period for that tax. Okay, let's go back up and nav down to the next one, which is the table list. And I did repeat here that these are the tables that are in your restaurant. It can be any number, and you may want to, if you have to, create a sequence number up to a certain one, and then maybe if you have a patio or the pool or whatever, you may want to actually indicate in there 1P or pool or whatever you want, or patio, PAT, or something like that, to differentiate where those particular tables are located. It's up to you, and it's your organization, so make it what you want it to be. Okay, the next one, we've done this. Let's go over to server's name. This is very straightforward. It's nothing more than adding all the names of the servers that you're using. You would leave existing, and say, for example, an employee departs, do not take out their name. Leave it in there. Basically, because the information is already entered in many different screens if that server's been around for a while. And if people are using this, it'll be in alphabetical order. You can see it's B and M. If you add 10 or 12 or whatever, they will be in alphabetical order when the drop-down list is shown. So it's quite easy to pick the correct one by the server that's actually working. Or if you're editing records and you want to put somebody in there, you can do it because they're easy to find in alphabetical order. And as before, add a new record, enter it, and if you need to edit them, edit them. Now when you get this, you can just take obviously these out and put in there what you have as far as employees that may be doing server type of tasks. Okay, let's go to the next item. This is paid with list, and this is the actual type of thing: American Express, cash check, MasterCard, and Visa, and you may have additional types of credit cards or ways of payment, including coupons or special sales or whatever you actually want to put in there that you can use. But I suggest you keep all the ones that are initially in there, like we stated before, on other records. And of course you can edit them if you need to, or change the way they're actually in there. Maybe you want to actually spell out MasterCard. It's up to you. Okay, we go back up to navigation. We have the seating status portal. In the seating status portal we have the actual table name, and this is actually created by the portal itself. When you're in the meal order window screen, it'll actually be using this set of records in here. You really do not have to change this. This is not a list. It's a portal record. In case you had to come in and delete a row, you could delete it if you had to, as a backup method to get rid of a portal row option item that you do not want to keep any longer. The last one, as we stated, was the seating status portal, which we're in now. Then the seating status list. Now this is the one, like I said, that is all the tables in your organizational setup as far as how there are, and this is a status that is changing continuously as you're working through the different tables. This could be used at the main desk where you're setting up individual people that are going in and being seated, and when you pick it, it'll give you the different status for each one of these records, and you can change it. These are drop downs, so you can add the information that is the appropriate thing. You can put in the time. Now in the time field, this might be very helpful and make it a lot faster. If you click in a field and then go ahead and click the blue status time up here, it will take the current time, like you see here at 5:56. If I click in that, it's going to put 5:56 in there for you. So it's very simple to add time without having to add the actual text or use the scroller. So let's go ahead and do that. Then we have the status date, and in this particular case, this is the date, and this is a drop-down calendar, and you just pick the status date from the list, and if it's the current date, you just say insert and insert the date. Okay, let's move to the next video tutorial. Thank you. Okay, in this video help, we're going to be using the navigation menu again. We're going to cover the balance of the buttons and links to the different screens that are shown in this group here. So let's get started.